I will tell a famous story about prayer. So there was this. There was this Jew that heard that the Admor HaZaken, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, he used to pray for 6 hours straight every morning on the morning Shacharit prayer. He would pray for 6 hours. He would wake up in the morning early. He would learn. He would go to the mikveh, and then he would daven for 6 hours. He wanted to see what that was all about. He was a profound person, profound Jew that also prayed with the kavanas, the intentions of the Arizal. He wanted to come and see what the Admor HaZaken has so much to say to the Creator. So he traveled to Liadi. He traveled to Liadi, came to the shul of the Alter Rebbe, sat there in the morning for Shachis, and the fact he saw the Alter Rebbe coming to the shul, putting his talis, learning. And it was when he started praying, we used to pray at 6 a.m. or so, and then finished by 11, 12. He waited until the end of the prayer. And then he came to the Admor HaZaken, and he said Shalom Aleichem, and he says, I have a question to ask you. He says, what is it? He says, I understand that the Jew needs to pray in depth to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I do too know the kavanas, the intentions of the Arizal, the Riyah Kodesh, when we are entering into the world of prayer, that you have to know your way around. You have to know where you're going. You have to know in which eichal, in which chamber you're now located at. It's like right. It's like traveling. You should know where you are, right? With what kind of people, in what kind of. If you're in a bus station, it's not the same thing that you're in a supermarket. It's not the same thing if you are in a public park. It's different areas. You have to know what you should be doing in those areas. So too in prayer. And the Jew says to the Admor HaZaken, he says, and then too, but it takes me 3 hours. It takes me 3 hours to go all of the, the Ketores and the Pesukei de Zimra, the Berikat HaShema, the Shema, the Amidah, in 3 hours. He says, but you take 6 hours. He says, what do you have so much to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What do you have so much to say? I want to understand. I want to know what you have so much to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Admor HaZaken, he answered him with a question. He says, tell me, what do you do for a living? And he says, I have a store and I sell clothes. Okay, so where do you get the tissue, the fabric? He says, I have to go to this town, which is 3 days traveling from my city, and I go once a year, I go there, I buy the fabrics, I bring it back, my wife makes clothes out of it and sells it, so I can, the rest of the year, I can learn Torah. Okay, and tell me, do you know well the trip from your town to this city? He says, for sure, I did it hundreds of times. I know it like the palm of my hand. He says, and the Alter Rebbe asks him, and tell me, and it takes time for the trip? He says, yeah, it takes me 3 days. And tell me, and it's sometimes dangerous? He says, yes, there are, people along the way, etc. And are there sometimes incidents? Yes, sometimes the wheel of the wagon breaks, the horse gets, hungry, he has to rest, this and the other. And the Admor HaZaken asked him, and tell me, if there's so many, you have so much effort and so much time and so much trouble, why don't you, and you know so well the path, the trip there, why don't you do it just in your head? Why don't you just imagine yourself going through those different stages, right? In the road, crossing those bridges, those fields, the mountains, etc. And that's it. Why do you have to go through all the trouble? And he looks at him and says, what are you talking about? I actually have to, I know the way on my head, of course I know, but I have to actually go there physically in order to get the goods, in order to get the fabrics, so I can bring it back, so I can make a living out of it. And the Alter Rebbe asks him, and that takes time, and that takes effort. So now you understand the answer to your question. You might have prayed for hundreds and thousands of times the same prayer, and you know it by heart, and you say it by heart. But if you're traveling only there just with your mind, yeah, it can be fast. But if you truly want to go there and get the goods, get the chomer, if you want to go and get the goods, it takes time and it requires effort.